Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Senior and Living Today. Previously, we had had a discussion about our utility bills, our utility providers, the automatic or the smart thermostats. And during that video, I had said I had been sent a couple letters from my energy provider saying that they were going to automatically put me with another utility provider. And if I didn't call them and stop them and deliberately opt out, then that's where my energy costs would be going. That's where my energy bill would be transferred to. Of course, I didn't like the sounds of that, so I called and I opted out as instructed. Well, that's not the end of that story. So, someone came to my house yesterday, knocked on the door, and they were saying, we see that you opted out, um, but, what are you going to do? And I was like, explain to me what you mean. What am I going to do? And they said, well, you have to pick a provider. So your energy company that your bill comes from, they own the lines that your energy runs through, whether that's your electric or your gas. In my case, I have gas heat, and of course I have electricity. So I have two different providers. And he's like, well, they provide those lines for you, but they don't provide um, what runs through your lines. And so you're going to have to choose a provider because you didn't choose the one that they gave you. You opted out of that, but you haven't picked another one. And I was like, I don't understand, why I have to pick one. So he said that that's the way it is now, and that he showed me how to look at my bill and see what I was paying, not just um, the overall bill and the cost, but what per measurement I'm paying for that utility. So he said, if you don't choose a carrier or a provider, then your address is like auctioned off. And the providers kind of like buy the rights to do the billing for your residents. So it was an education for me because I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about any of this whole auctioning off thing. When I called and opted out, they were just, okay, we'll mark down that you don't want that. And I thought that was the end of it. So he said all of this was brought around about by something called deregulation. And with deregulation, there are different suppliers, and the different suppliers charge a different amount, sort of like your credit card interest rate. You might have 12%, you might have 15%. When you shop around and you find the best card and the best rate sort of thing. So he was saying that the different suppliers have different rates, and basically if you don't choose a supplier will be chosen for you. So I thought that was something. And so on my bill, I was like, I know what the total of my bill is, but I didn't know how to tell um, what I was paying per current measurement. So if you guys have gas, and you guys may not, if you have a wood stove or something, God bless you, because that's the ticket. But I have gas heat. So there's a little thing on my bill that says CCU, and I know that's backwards for you, but CCU is the measurement where you might have feet or inches or whatever. CCU is the measurement, and they put it just kind of like hidden on your bill. And so my bill, I pulled last winter's bill, and my CCU measurement, I'm sorry, CCF measurement was 62 cents. It says 0.62. And he's like, you were paying 62 cents per measurement. The going rate right now of the one that the gas company was trying to switch me into was 118 point something. And so it was $1.18 and some extra. $1.18 per measurement when last winter I was paying 62 cents. 62 cents, $1.18. He's like, yeah, you're gonna be in for some really big heating costs this winter. So of course, that just makes me sick to my stomach. And so he's like, the company that your file had been auctioned off to um, is going to be charging you 118 something. He said, so we're here today from this company and we're offering you 117. So it's a penny savings per unit that I use. And this was all such an eye opener for me. And so he said the way that works, and I'm assuming that people who have gas across the country, this is kind of how it works. It could be, I could be wrong, but I'm letting you know just in case I'm right so that you can be aware this is out there because I thought I knew and I didn't know. You know what I mean? So my energy bill is gonna double as soon as the weather gets cold. And so his company was taking on my account for $1.17, and that is a fixed rate for 3 years, meaning for 3 years it won't go up per measurement. Now, that also means it won't go down. So, although, I'd like to say it would be great to see energy prices go down. I don't know that they ever have or that it will, but I'll just have to be pleasantly surprised because our gas prices went up and they came down like that much. So I don't know. But if you sign, then for this particular company, if you sign, then the rate is locked in for 3 years, and so for 3 years you'll be paying that, and then go from there. He said after the 3 years, then your account it won't change during that time, but after that time period, then your file goes back into the market, and all the suppliers like bid for your business, and this whole process starts over again. Amazing to me. So, um, you can choose your supplier, or your supplier can be chosen for you. Um, if and he had also said that if I didn't sign up with him and I went with the supplier that kind of like had auction that won my file in auction for the $1.18, that because I haven't signed a contract with them, that's variable. So definitely I chose to lock in $1.17. It's going to be a long, cold winter. So the purpose of this video is to make people aware who might not be aware of how things are done, just in case it affects them. Energy cost is huge. And so while it's still relatively nice weather, I thought we should have this discussion, number one. Number two, if you have a senior in your life that, like me, I handle my own bills. I thought I knew what I was doing. I am, so happy that Mr. Turner came over and took the time to educate me on how this process is done. So I thought I knew, but you know what they say, you don't know what you don't know till you find out you don't know it. So it was one of those things. So what I'm saying is if you have a senior in your life that's handling their bills and you think they got it all going on, they may not know this. So to save them, which over the winter is going to be a lot of money. It really adds up. If I'm spending, I think he said over the year 1,400 of those measurements at a penny each, that's dollars. That all adds up that I'm saving. So if you have a senior, have that conversation with them and say, do you know what you're paying per measurement of gas or per measurement of electricity? And do you know if you opted in? Do you know if you locked in? That sort of thing could save them a lot of money when it's so hard to come by anyway. So have that conversation and educate some people who don't know, just like I didn't. Investigate what's happening in the area they live in. I'm in the um, Northeast slash Midwest, so I don't know, you know, if this is the same for everyone, but it is for me. So I want you to know that just choosing to opt out, like I did, is really putting a blinder on. You can opt out, but you're going to have to do something else. You're going to, if you opt out, then you need to opt in with somewhere else, someone else, or be subject to what they give you. And what they give you is never great, right? So, it could save someone a lot of money. So have that conversation with your girlfriends and with your family members, and hopefully will save everybody a little bit of money. So, let me know what heat source you have below. I have gas. So let me know if you have a fireplace or you have a wood stove, a pellet stove, how you're handling your heat this coming winter. Share your comments down below. Do not forget to like the video and share the video. Visit our website, www.seniorandlivingtoday.com, for helpful documents and resources. And please come back and visit us again on Senior and Living Today.